Supervisor, I make a motion to end executive session. The board took action to authorize the town attorney to prepare a request for proposals to privatize of solid waste refuse, including recyclables and garbage collection, with the request for proposals to be issued prior to December 31st, 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Did we need a motion on that, or just a closing session?
Yeah.
All right, now we'll proceed with our public comment period. First up is Paul Molinari. Oh, okay, well, come on up, Paul. Is there another item of business?
Yes.
No, come on, just stay right here. I think this will be quick. You have the procedure, because I don't. You want to go public comment, or you want to do that personnel?
We need to close the meeting.
No, that's what I'm saying. You want to do that personnel matter?
Yes.
Well, we'll just, I think this will be very quick, so stay there, don't go away. You got to see this one.
Supervisor, I make a motion to untable personnel resolution P1-17, P1-17, and PA 217.
Second.
We're going to untable
On table P117 and
PA 1,
P217?
yes, PA 117 to PA 217.
Let's find out. Do we have the numbers right there?
Yes. Yes.
You want to do an explanation as to what happened?
1 and 2. Okay, there were actually 4 resolutions that were on those personnel actions. So you intended to table the first one, which is P1316. That's the one that is still tabled. The other ones are, and I'll explain what they are. The first one was P117. On the backup, it reads that it allows the comptroller to be authorized to amend the 2017 manning tables for all the changes in title, grade, and salary, which the town board has already approved in 2016. This is just something that we do. It's just housekeeping. It's done every year. It's the first resolution for 2017 every year. So that's just the housekeeping piece. The other 2 items, the PA 117 and 217, are for the planning and development. Those are the appointments of the examining board of electricians and the examining board of plumbers. Those are all 1-year appointments, so they go from January 1st to December 31st. If this waits until January, the meeting schedules get messed up, so that's why we wanted to get this back on.
Okay, before you go away, we learned after the meeting from Commissioner Zeig that apparently if we don't go ahead and appoint these 2 boards, then on January 1, we don't have either board.
Correct.
That's number 1. The housekeeping measure, what does that mean, housekeeping measure?
That just, all of the end and changes that we've made over the course of this year are now allowed to be made permanent on the 2017 budget. So it's just a carrying over.
Okay, gotcha. All right. If anyone, I think there was an indication earlier, I think it was given to Bob Fryer, if I'm not mistaken, that we were going to table these. And we were at the time until we got the explanation from Commissioner Zeig. So, Bob, in fairness, if you want to speak to these, Rob,
I had signed up, yeah.
Yeah, whoever wants, okay. Yeah, I think you both had it.
He was ahead of me, so.
Okay.
Isn't that? Thank you. I am Robert Ripp from SB. Do you mind if I ask, we're back on the action calendar?
We're back for the purposes of these 2 personnel resolutions.
Thank you. The resolution we have written out, P-1-17, reads, whereas the 2017 budget adopted November 15, 2016 establishes the titles and salaries of officers and employees of the town of Oyster Bay pursuant to Section 27 of the town law, and local laws relating to the establishment of town departments and rules and regulations governing appointments, etc. of employees. Then it reads that whereas Resolution P-106 3, dated December 12, 1972, provides a procedure for the amendment of the resolution establishing grades, salaries, and titles as required and requested by department heads. Now therefore it is resolved that the budget is adopted and being hereby is amended to reflect the approved additions and deletions as indicated by the attached. So the way that I understand this, it seems as if you're amending procedures to promote people and now adjust the budget that you passed, or possibly promote and delete. And now you're adjusting the budget that you just passed to demonstrate or show these new salaries, these either promotions or deletions.
I think,
Isn't that
no,
all the
no,
stuff that was tabled? I'm sorry.
look, I think we're conforming the actions we took in 2016 to the budget in 2017. That's the way I understood your comment.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
But there's nothing new being done here, no new
No.
promotions or
No.
additions or deletions or anything of the
Because
sort.
of when our budget timing is, everything starts in August. So anything after August has not been reflected on our 2016 budget, so it's got to be then put on.
Okay.
They know it's there, they account for it when they make the budget, but now it makes it official.
Thank you very much for the explanation.
I think what Vicki just said was really important. It was accounted for in the budget.
I'm sorry, can you see?
It was accounted for in the budget.
Yes.
Anything that changes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bob Fry, you good then? Okay. All right, Paul Molinari, we're back to you on, oh, I'm sorry. Motion to- I got it. I got this one. Go ahead. No, Bob said no, you wait for it. So I need a motion now to close the public hearing.
But you can vote on it.
We got to vote on it.
On the personnel resolution. I stand corrected, I didn't have it. Joe Muscarello?
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
This is on the personnel resolution. Okay,
On the vote, Supervisor Medina,
hold on.
Councilman Mascarello, Councilman Nakano,
Aye.
Councilman Cashagano,
Aye.
Councilman Pinto,
Aye.
Councilman Alessio,
Aye.
Councilwoman Johnson.
Aye.
Motion to adopt P1-17, PA1-17, and PA2-17 passes with 7 ayes. Okay.
Councilman now.
All right, Supervisor, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed, so moved, meeting adjourned. We'll proceed with public comment. And we'll start off with our leadoff hitter, Paul Molinari.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor and board members. You know, I've come before the board on many occasions talking about the redevelopment of the Hicksville area. I wanted to just bring out the potential things that are going on to bring to the board's attention. 2.5 years ago, the board approved Kennyard Commons, which is on West John Street in Hicksville for 390 units for 55 and over people. The downtown Hicksville revitalization plan, moving forward to change the zoning, which I do support, is capping another 500 residential units in the downtown area. In this past year, what's also happening now is the Sears property, which is 26 acres, is being proposed for redevelopment. Their initial meeting, they had proposed approximately 400 residential units with stores and a supermarket. 2 weeks ago, I attended another Civic Association's meeting, and the Sears people are now proposing 600 residential units, the smallest shopping store and stores. So you're looking at a significant increase in residential units in the area. And just last night, I had a call from Lionel Chitney from the Chamber asking me about my Civic Association, how active it is, because the Winter Brothers property on Duffy Avenue, which is 9.5 acres that he's been filling in on old sand pits, is for sale. And President Chitney told me that there's a potential buyer who wants to install 225 residential units on 9.5 acres. So the point I want to make is, I think, I'm supportive of redevelopment in the Hicksville area, but we have to take a comprehensive look at what's going on in the area, especially on Duffy Avenue. We already have a parking garage for 1,400 cars. We have the New York Community Bank, which has several hundred cars there. We have Verizon there. We have truck traffic back and forth to Nassau Candy and Stop and Shop. That's the other little small, industrial areas that are on Duffy Avenue.
Designatronics is gonna open 100,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's opening soon, and that's supposedly another 100, they had cut there, originally it was 250 jobs, now they cut it down to 150 or so, so you're looking at 150 cars on Duffy Avenue. But my main point is that we have to look at this like a master plan, at the cumulative impacts that are going to happen on Hicksville. This all goes through. You especially have the third track. They're talking about parking garages north of the train station to accommodate more commuters. So I just wanted to emphasize that the town has to be looking out on a comprehensive basis on the cumulative impacts of these projects on the Hicksville area.
The only thing I'm gonna let, I think Rebecca was probably gonna want to respond, but I'll just say this. I mean, ever since I've been sitting here, I mean, going back to when I was a councilman, this question about the redevelopment of Hicksville has always been in the forefront of dialogue. The problem is, whenever we get everybody together, everybody wants to redevelop, everybody agrees. But then when you ask what it is they want to see, they have very, very divergent views. So I'm just...
Well, I understand, but I think we had that last meeting that Councilwoman Alicia and Councilman McEnroe were with. It was a very positive meeting, and people want the downtown Hicksville area to be revitalized and redeveloped. And I'm just saying, now what you have, since we did that, worked on that original plan, you now have the Sears property coming into play and potential the Winter Brothers property coming into play for another 800 units. A significant impact.
One of the things we contemplated, Paul, and I'll back up for a second to say, you and I have worked on this for so long together and discussed it so long together that you getting up and flashing a yellow light is like very alarming to me. So I definitely, it's even more emphatic in my mind than some other people saying it. But one of the things that John Ellsworth and Councilman McEnroe and I discussed after the community meeting was we may need to take a little bit of a more global look, because while we tried at the meeting not to go down the path of discussing Sears, because it's not related to the immediate downtown area, it was apparent that there's a lot of concern about it. So I agree with you, we can't examine the downtown in a vacuum. It has to be part of sort of a greater master plan, and we are going to try to incorporate that. And I mean, naturally, as part of the secret process, it would be anyway, but we're going to try to incorporate that as we go forward.
Paul, thank you for bringing the Winter Brothers. I know it was up for sale, but I never heard any plans about 200 units.
I just heard that.
Well, you being ears on the ground there, bring it back to us, and we appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And just so you know, Paul, I don't believe unless it was changed in the last week, and I don't know, acting Commissioner Zeig is still in the room, I don't think we had anything from the Sears people as of yet, the Sears project on file.
There's no formal plans or formal application filed this year's
I know.
Thank you.
I realize that they haven't officially filed, but they said they were starting their environmental studies and traffic studies, so they'll probably be coming in 6 months. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, Robert, Rob, you're up.
Hello, name's Robert again. So I have a couple of questions. I just want to bring your attention. Back on September 6th, this year, 2016, the town approved Resolution 445-216. This was approving additional sum payment of $95,000 to the outside counsel law firm of, I may not pronounce it correctly, but Cascone and Klopfel. And during the resolution portion of the meeting back in September, Bob Fryer had questioned this resolution, and it was pretty much explained to him, and the record reflects, that this company is handling like slip and fall outside negligence suits for the town of Oyster Bay. And I actually called them up, and they confirmed they currently have a contract with the town of Oyster Bay.
Was it literally slip and fall or just negligence?
Negligence, I believe. The way that it was explained, it's all negligence. So you approved that. You approved this payment to this firm on September 6th during the action calendar portion. And then later in the meeting, the town went into executive session, and I have the transcripts from the executive session. And these read, at the September 6, 2016 Town Board regular meeting, the Town Board entered into executive session at approximately 12:20 p.m. to discuss pending litigation and personal matters. Councilwoman Alicia, as liaison to the Office of the Town Attorney, indicated that she received an attorney-client privilege memorandum from the Town Attorney's Office setting forth the need for the hiring of an attorney since said office had lost 6 attorneys over the past year due to retirement and/or resignation. The salaries of those attorneys amounted to approximately $550,000 annually. In addition, due to the closing of an outside counsel's law firm that handled personal injury defense matters for the town attorney's office must handle the cases in-house. The town board unanimously agreed to authorize and direct, the town attorney's office had interviewed an individual and has recommended him for the position of assistant town attorney at a salary of $100,000 a year. The town board unanimously agreed to authorize and direct Department of Human Resources to prepare and bring a resolution before the town board at the September 27, 2016 regular meeting to hire an individual as an assistant town attorney at a salary of $100,000 per year with the start date of September 29, 2016. And if you review the actual transcripts for the minutes for that day, what happened was the council, you came back from executive session, and Councilwoman Alicia says, Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion that the executive session be closed. We have asked Human Resources to prepare a resolution for the next town board meeting to hire an attorney to replace the 6 lawyers that have left the town attorney's office and to further supplement the closing of the firm that was outside counsel for our negligence cases. And then, Mr. Vendetto, you said, I believe we also wanted to indicate for the record that we are directing that steps be taken to ensure that the new attorneys begin to work immediately thereafter on September 29th. Now, I've researched, or I've looked through all the resolutions, and I haven't found the resolution authorizing the hiring of a new town attorney. And I'm a little confused. I'd like to know if the town did hire a new town attorney, who the town attorney is that they hired. And I'm at a loss that if on September 6th the town approved a resolution for Cascone and Klufeld to handle the negligence matters, and they said that they still have that contract, who was the law firm who closed, who's no longer handling negligence matters? And I guess we're back to, I suppose that you hired a town attorney back in September for $100,000 a year that is also now handling negligence? Is that how that worked?
That is,
I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
the law firm that closed was Burns, Russo, and Tamigi.
I'm sorry.
Burns, Russo, and Tamigi, T-A-M-I-G-I. They had been handling, I think, our property damage claims and some personal injury claims as well. And we did wind up hiring the town attorney. I don't think it happened at the next meeting. I think it was delayed, but he was hired. And then at that salary, his name is Jeffrey Lesser, L-E-S-S-E-R.
All right. Do you remember, did you vote on a resolution to hire?
Yes.
Okay, Mayor probably didn't see it. Thank you very much for the explanation.
Okay, thanks, Rob. John Medford, John?
Not express any pleasantries. I'll just let you know, I am John Medford. I am a Town of Oyster Bay sanitation worker. And based on your executive meeting about privatizing solid waste disposal, right now I will say no comment.
Thank you, John.
Wish I could say the same.
Bob Fryer, you don't need to be that way. Bob Fryer?
Hi. I just want to go back to some questions I had at the last meeting. First with the deposits for the woodlands, and I know you seemed to, you would...
Bob, why don't you talk to me?
I'm sorry, Mr. Genova had mentioned that you believed it was down to about $50,000. Has there been any more investigative work or finding out exactly what it is? And if the number went down because people canceled, did they just walk away from their money, or are they going after the town or the former investor group or anything like that?
Well, let's find out, and I'll tell you why I would like to find out too. When you came to the podium last trip, you said something about $300,000. And then I think there was a news report somewhere that had what you said, $180,000. And then we had a number of $50,000. So, Commissioner Nassarino, I'm looking at you, and if you can't do it, does anyone help us? Whoa, right. If you can handle it, fine. If not, you need to check records or, let's get this right, because it's the second time it's coming up.
The deposit that Lessons is due is $50,382. That's from all the affairs that they have run, okay, that the deposits were taken by the previous investor or the previous runners, and that's all that the town is due to Lessons. As far as the other stuff of people bailing out, when they spoke to all those people, whether they got their deposits back or not, that's litigation. I guess with the old people, some people said they walked away. We didn't get involved with it because our job was to make sure Lessons is protected, okay, and Lessons is protected under the RMP, and that's the number, which is 50,000.
Len, can you add anything?
I think the number that Bob referred to was the number that was in the RFP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I have the spreadsheet from the RFP.
Right, I think that was based on,
What was that number?
I don't know the exact number.
Is that what you got, 300,000?
Yeah, it was right around 300.
Right, okay.
It was-
That was based on information we had. When Lessings went in, I believe many, if not most, of those people backed out of their events. I guess, they didn't make any claims. I checked with Matt and Tom. At this point, our office hasn't received any claims relative to those functions. So I think the total amount of deposits that were taken by the prior investor group that the town is going to make whole Lessings is roughly 50,000, whatever the commission.
Where did that $180,000 figure come from? Does anybody know? No, okay, all right, Bob, go ahead.
Okay. My second question is, I also follow up to last time when I asked you about your criminal defense, that you said it was a personal expense versus a town expense. However, we still have spent over, I think, Councilwoman Alessia, you knew the number. It was, how much have we spent with Quinn Emanuel so far?
Oh, I don't remember right now.
It's over $1 million. It's over $1 million.
Is that right? Is that accurate?
I don't know, I really don't.
I mean, it was the last time.
I had it at the tip
But
of
if,
my,
no, but you're asking her, but if you know the number, what is it?
Well, I don't remember the exact number, but I remember her telling me it was, at that point, she had given me a number up a year to date or something, and cumulatively, it was right around $1 million.
Can we find that
want me
out?
to step out and try to get the
If it's that quick, yeah.
Okay.
So work with real numbers.
Now, my suggestion is that I think it's a conflict that you participate in those meetings with Quinn Emanuel, because that goes to that has to do with the exact case to which you were personally charged. So I think you should recuse yourself from any meetings with Quinn Emanuel regarding SRB.
No, but I participate in any meetings with Quinn Emanuel, but you're just talking about participating at meetings.
Well, they're still retained by the town because of potential litigation, right? So
is there a problem there?
you certainly met with them in executive session in the past.
Well, that was before my arrest and indictment.
Right.
You know what, we'll check with Steve.
My arrest and indictment occurred on October 20th, so it would be prior to that. Since October 20th, I'm really pretty sure I haven't met with them. I haven't had time to
Or speak with them.
do many things. We'll find out. By the way, the answer I gave you about my legal expenses, that's my understanding. My understanding is that I'm obligated to personally pay them. So that's what it's based on. I'm just telling you that.
Well, I'm assuming you've had to write checks to your lawyers already, so so that came out of your own personal accounts, or?
I have, but what I'm saying to you is, my understanding is that I am obligated to pay them. That's all. That's my understanding.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Rob Leska. Where's Rob? All right, that's it, we're done. I do have an announcement to make. I'll be very, very brief. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a very happy and healthy New Year. Thank you all. Happy holidays. Hey, Bob Fryer, 681,000.
Thank you. Is that, wait, Rebecca, is that just for this year, not counting last year?
I asked her for the total.
Total cumulative from the
I
beginning?
did, but I don't want to call my own.
Well, listen, you want to get together before Christmas?
Yeah.
I'll call you later.